Hi, this is Kim Watson. Welcome to an Easy Trader update on Monday the 31st of March 2014. Okay, before I get on to look at the analysis for the week, let's just have a look at a subject that I wanted to cover. I've been listening to some guys in the room talking about some analysis and last week, and I just wanted to talk about analysis and ask a question is, when should you change your view? Now, the reason I ask for this is because it's so easy to let's say you had a view of going short back here into this 50 moving average. Let's assume that there was still negative momentum. It may have a fib retrace. It may have had a number of factors that came in with that point there, which made it a good, in your book or in anyone's book, it may have looked like a very good setup for a short position. Now the very next day it ran properly, just slightly fractionally up, so fine. Following day it started moving in your direction. Your targets may have been initially the lows, or there may have been some other targets you had from, measured from the bigger moves, and you may have expected a bigger correction here. So you've not taken any profit. It's then moved up against you a little bit here, or moved back towards your opening position, and it's slightly against. Now it may at some point stop you out, but you may have then said, well, I'm still, I was bearish, so I'm going to be bearish, and take another position. Now that itself may have taken you down and started looking okay for a while, but then it's rallied and stopped you out again. Now the question is, how often are you going to hold on to something which initially, when it was down here, met with your criteria? Did it really still meet your criteria when it was pushing up here, or was things weakening off? One thing here, you may have questioned it because the momentum was getting stronger against the position. Okay, well, we can have cycles in momentum, and maybe that wasn't a good enough indicator on its own to suggest that things are changing. But we'd moved above the 50 MA. There was a number of other factors that you may have re-questioned, but the initial point is to ensure that you question your analysis. Has anything changed? Should I still be looking for negativity? If things have changed, well then it's time to perhaps let go of that and look, well, perhaps I'm on the wrong side of this and I should be looking for a continuation in the market. Sometimes that's more difficult done than said, because we get in our mind that a market is going to move down potentially. Maybe overbought, lots of orders sitting above, the sell orders sitting above. There may be numerous reasons why you believe that you're right in your position, and obviously we believe we're right to take the position in the first place. The important thing is to check that your thinking is still logical when it's gone past your original position, and it may have stopped you out in the first position and you're getting into another position. Is it still logical to be thinking in that direction? So just really a thought for the week, really, as we move ahead. Always check your analysis. Okay, if things have changed, you've got to change, or you'll lose money most likely. So let's have a look at the markets. Looking at the euro dollar, let's get up the business end here now, and we'll see what we got on Friday. Let me just get rid of this cursor for a minute. There we go. On Friday we got a little spinning top here, sitting back into the 50. Now we'd been into that 50 before, but this did come with some support from a very wiggly drawn previous low here as well. There was a couple of factors that gave it a bit of support off there, but overall in the day we ended up relatively neutral. However, positive potential. It's there is chance that we could see some continuation following what's happening here. We do end up positive today. We could push up. The important thing here is looking at the bigger picture, and what may be happening here is you've got this sort of flag pattern sitting here. If it breaks the top of the flag, well then we could be on for continuation to the highs. But just as I've done this analysis, if I see a break of these lows here, well then there's a chance that it could be wanting a bigger correction of this move. We've got a lot of news out this week. We're more towards the back end on the euro, but we've got the economic financial ministers meeting Tuesday, Wednesday. We've got Thursday, we've got the interest rate decision, or ECB rate decisions, and non-farm payroll. So there's other factors kicking around there. So we could see some sort of correction. The inflation's come out this morning, which was negative again, slightly negative. It's well below the 2% target, although some analysts are saying this is maybe just a temporary blip, hence why we saw the figure come out negatively, and then we saw a big rally as someone stepped in immediately to say, well, it's not a big problem. Whenever someone does that, I always think, is it a problem? Anyway, for now, potential for this coming week at the moment, there is potentially some more upside, particularly, as I say, if we break this upward trend line. If, however, we start breaking these lows here, my emphasis would be, from a daily point of view, more to the downside. Now, I talked about the analysis earlier on in terms of trades, just because we're in a upside downside, because I'm trading off a smaller time frame. I'll be looking I'm looking at from a lower time frame up to the upper time frames. I would prefer to most of my trades to be in line with the daily trend, but obviously we've got to look at what's right at the time. As I say, right, okay, so that's the euro. Let's have a quick look at the pound dollar. And on last week we saw the rally up. Now, ironically, we actually saw what we're seeing here from the early part of the trade here is potentially a bit of a rollover. There was some divergence on the 4-hour time frame. I'll just show you that, or what I was looking at this morning. Let's just click on this and pull it up a little bit more if I can. There we go. So it's a bit more central, and there was some divergence going on between this high here and this high here. Now, cable sitting, as is euro's trending up a little bit more now, but and they were in the short term trending pretty sideways. But looking at these bigger pictures, we've still got a reasonable trend up here from a daily perspective. As I say, there's some shorter intraday data suggesting it may just be rolling over a short while, but for now, with cable, the analysis looks like it's still got the potential for some further upside, maybe at some point challenging the previous highs here. Any move to the downsides, well, we've got this support trend line here, which has been tested before, and if we do get a close outside of it, we never actually had a close outside of that, that would point to potentially a test of these prior lows here, just below 163. Now, we have got the PMI figures, services, manufacturing and construction, not in that order, but they're coming out this week, so it could show some further signs of how the growth is, whether it's been sustained or whether it's rolling a little bit over. So the important figures for the pound this week, and of course we will get the knock-on effects of anything from the non-farm payrolls, etc. Okay, so that's the pound dollar. Let's look at the dollar yen. Dollar yen has been sitting in an amazingly consolidated period here. There's lots of, it's just been sitting there excuse me, day after day. Friday eventually broke out. This morning we're seeing some continuation of that. We could see this follow through. It's got some nice momentum growing in it in terms of dailies there, and there could be a continuation, maybe short-term resistance levels, but really we could push up back up to 103.73 area, or maybe back to the prior highs there. But for now, looking relatively bullish. Of course, if the deciding factor for me really is if we break the lows of last Thursday's lows there. Well, then maybe we'll break this shorter term trend line here and head down to the 200 or maybe lower. But for now, it looks more bullish. Okay, euro yen briefly, similar picture really. We're pushing up here. Sorry, it was we had a little Gartley pattern actually that had occurred. Sorry, let's get rid of that for now. But that traded itself off. But again, pushing up for the same sort of principles here. If we're moving up quite nicely at the moment, if the euro continues on its upward movement, this would help this as well. Obviously, resistance at the 143 area, 143.60. Breaks of that, well, we could again be pushing up for the December highs. Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar's had a good run, steady but choppy at times. I mean, it got into quite a tight chop range during February. Again, early March was much the same, but we've the last few days we've seen it a decent push up. The only thing is that we've just run into a bit of resistance at that monthly R2 area, and it put in quite a bearish bar in on Friday, but there's a shooting star there into that level, which may just see a bit more correction if we do break down to the lower side here. Well, but there's key support lines because of where we are with the 200 at around about 91.30. So there's plenty of support levels now coming off this, which may help. Of course, we'll get the new pivots coming in very shortly, so they will obviously be a draw, and they'll be slightly to the downside here. But these new pivots right away across the board may be hit quite early this month. Right, okay, that's pretty much summarises things. Hope you have a great week. I'll be back later. Bye for now.